Hi. So nice to see your faces. Thanks for coming out. All right, tonight we're going to talk about long-term vision and a sustainable build. And if you don't know my story, if you're new here, then you may have seen me popping up on the recognition page a lot in the last 6 months, but I'm here to tell you that the first year of my journey was really long and there were a lot of ups and downs, and there were moments where I really had to dig deep and remember why I was here. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight, because I feel like we see a lot of people jump in and it's just like boom, 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 boom. They hit all the ranks, right? And it's amazing and it's inspiring. But the reality is, and Jake has said this so many times, and we have to remember that, is that the average build time for silver is 2 years. So you guys have to ask yourselves, are you committed to this business for the next 2 years of your life? Like, are you committed to that? Because if you are, then you have to go back to that thought that, hey, I know that some people hit silver in 5 months, but the average time is 2 years, and that's okay. And everyone's journey is going to look different. And that's kind of the coolest part. Like when I look at my journey, it was in those 6 months, 7 months, 8 months where I was really struggling and I felt like I was stuck. That's the best part of my story now. When I get to talk to people about my story, that's the part I highlight, because that's when I had to really dig deep and figure out why I was here, what I was doing, how could I get better. It was in that moment that I had no choice but to grow. And the really cool thing about our compensation plan and the way that we build in this company is that it's very hard to maintain a rank that you're not personally developed for. You see it all the time. And I saw that personally. I hit bronze and I sat at bronze for a really long time. And that's because I wasn't ready as a leader to be a silver leader. And that's why, as I developed my skills and I worked with my team and I learned how to be a leader and I did the things that leaders did, that's when my growth happened. That's when I hit silver and then gold and then platinum. And it's not by accident. It's because I took that time and I dug deep, and I could have walked away, but I chose not to. So, are you prepared to commit to 2 years or more to building this business? If you are, then you have to ask yourself, what does that actually look like? You have to remember, what we do is what we become. Your daily habits are what you become in every aspect of your life. Think about your finances. Whatever you're doing every day in your finances, all those little things that you're doing every day, that creates the picture of your financial situation. Think about your marriage. All the decisions you make every day in your marriage, that creates the picture that your marriage is now. Think about your friendships. If you're a good friend, you're going to have good friends. It's all about habits. It's all about the little things that we're doing every single day that build up to make us who we are. So the first thing I want to talk about is mentorship. We always talk about mentors, and we have the most incredible mentors in this company, right? But who is your mentor? Who are you surrounding yourself in your business? You've heard it a million times, the 5 people that you surround yourself with the most, that's who you become, right? So I want you to ask yourself, who are the 5 people in this business that you're surrounding yourself with? When you're feeling like you're having a rough time, who are you texting? Who are you watching? Whose trainings are you watching? Who do you want to be like? And if there's a leader in this company that you admire, then you should reach out to them and be like, hey, what are you doing every single day? What does your daily life look like? If you're in the Inner Circle Challenge, I love watching those videos because I've learned so much about what the top leaders are doing. And it's what they're doing that I want to do, because if I want to be a diamond, then I need to work like a diamond. Sorry. Then I need to work like a diamond, right? So find leaders that you look up to and find out what they're doing every day. When I first joined, I talked to Brittany Hitch. I talked to Katie Bristow. I talked to Brooke Urban, who is my upline. I talked to so many people, and I asked them questions. When I went to convention my first time, guys, we have the best opportunity at convention to talk to top leaders. I remember I was so inspired by Betsy Collard, and I went up to her after her speech and I started asking her questions, so many questions. She didn't not have time for me. She had all the time in the world. And if you want to be a top leader, then please take that time, message them on Instagram, reach out to them, find out what they're doing. It's so important that you're surrounding yourself with people that you want to be like. And also, if you are a leader, if you have a team, that you're creating other people and you're creating a safe space that they can be more like you and they can ask you questions, and that they stay as positive as you are. It's so important to keep that atmosphere. You won't become a diamond if you aren't willing to show up like a diamond. That is clear. And they say it all the time, but I remember when I first joined, Brittany Kavicki, who's on this call, we literally knew exactly what we wanted. And we started doing training calls every week from the day we joined. I hadn't even hit Builder Pro Executive yet. And I was hosting training calls for my team every single week. And we haven't stopped. We still both host training calls every single week. I was watching trainings every day. I was a sponge as much as I could. I was watching how to launch, how to do op calls. I knew every single training that was happening and I was going to all of them. And you guys are doing a great job because you're on this call right now on a Friday night. But that's what you need to do. Submerge yourself in this, or else if you're not learning constantly, you're not going to be able to give out. You're not going to be able to know how to be a leader if you're not watching other leaders, if you're not doing the training, if you're not showing up and just being a leader, even when you don't feel like one. This is what I wrote down. It's so good. You don't become what you hope to become. Hope is not a strategy. So you might say, I really hope that one day I'm a diamond. I really hope that one day I'm going to be a platinum leader. I really hope that happens. But the reality is, like I just said, hope isn't a strategy. You're not going to become a diamond by hoping that you're one, by wishing that you're one. You're going to become a diamond by being one, by acting like one, by showing up consistently every day, even when it is hard, because it is hard. There are moments where it's really hard. Your daily life will be determined by the substance of your days. The choices add up and what we become and add up to what we become in our lives. So decide who you want to be and what habits you're going to have that are going to become a reflection of that person. So I always say to my team, what do you want people to say about you as you're walking across that stage as a silver, as a gold, as a platinum? What will people in the audience be saying about you? What kind of leader are they going to see on the stage? Are they going to see a leader who got on one-on-one calls when they needed them, who lifted them up when they were down, who literally helped carry them through the muck when they were in the muck? Is that what they're going to see? Or are they going to see a leader who begged people to spend money and never was available when they need them and never picked up their phone? It's so important that you know the person that you want to be so that you can Nope. I asked my husband to watch her. Didn't do very well. Sorry, guys. Yes. What will people say about when you're walking the stage? Predetermine right now. If you're saying, I am going to be here in 2 years, I don't care how long it takes me to hit silver. It will still be worth it. If it takes me 2 years to hit silver, that $4,000 paycheck is what I want. If that's what you want, then you need to determine right now what you're going to do when things get hard. Because I'm telling you, things will get hard. Things always get hard in life. And before Q Sciences, I had a habit of quitting when things got hard and just walking away from everything because I didn't want to do the work that it took to grow. I never really saw the value in that. But I know what we have here, and I know the value that we have in being here now. And I know that the early bird gets the worm. And I knew that the whole time. My excitement for this company never left because I always knew what was on the other end of that really low valley. I knew it was there. I just had to get through the valley, right? So you guys have to determine what your habits are going to be and how you're going to maintain those habits even when you don't want to. How are you going to show up on the days where it feels like you're not seeing any success? When it's been 2 months since you've recruited somebody, are you going to keep showing up for your business? Are you going to be able to see the long-term vision, or are you going to shut down and check out? I've seen it time and time again. It gets hard and people check out. Don't be that person, or you're never going to be able to get past that. If I would have walked away when I was stuck at bronze when I was bronze for 7 months and I lost bronze and I had to pick back up and keep going. If I had walked away at that stage in my journey because it got hard, and it got hard, you can ask people on this call, it got hard. If I would have walked away, I wouldn't be platinum right now. So I'm looking at you saying, if you're feeling that way, like I've been there, I've been at the bottom, I've clawed my way back up, and it's hard, but it's so worth it. So whether you have 0 or 5,000 PAs, it doesn't matter. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what leadership looks like and how important it is to show up as a leader from day one. And like I said, Brittany and I joined, and she joined at the same time as me. Kay joined at the same time as me. And we were like, this is what we want. This is what we want our business to look like. We came from somewhere else. It didn't look like this. We wanted to look different, right? And so we decided from day one, this is how we are going to show up for our team. This is what we're going to do. It's so important that if you haven't sat back and taken a proper account of what you want in your business, how are you ever going to create something if you don't know what you're creating? If you don't have a roadmap, how are you going to get there? You have to know before you go. You're not going to build a team of strong, independent women, moms. Like, I knew when I came into this exactly what I wanted my community to look like, exactly what I wanted, how I wanted to be a leader, what kind of trainings I wanted to do, when the trainings were going to be. I knew what my people needed and what I needed to be a good leader. And I set that from day one. This is what we're going to do. And I'm going to do it every day. And I'm going to show up for my team calls every Tuesday. I don't care. So you have to choose now, whether you have 0 ambassadors or 5,000 ambassadors, what kind of leader do you want to be and how are you going to be that leader? When you're a leader, it means growing, even if you're growing alone. This goes back to every day, the habit of watching trainings. If there's a training or a power hour, do it. Do you know how many power hours I went to when I joined Q Sciences? Like, every day I was on a power hour at 12 p.m. every day because I didn't know what I was doing and I wanted to learn. Because again, I saw the value in this company and I knew that the only way that I was going to be successful is if I just did it, whether I knew what I was doing or not. When I had my team calls, when I was like Builder Pro executive, I used to say, I'm throwing stuff at the wall and I'm just seeing what sticks and we're going to figure it out and we're all going to figure it out together. And that's why all those girls are still with me because we all threw stuff at the wall and just saw what sticks. We learn together. If you create a community and you're able to create a community where everybody's equal, then it doesn't matter. You're always going to continue growing. Even if you're growing and you don't have any ambassadors, you should still be showing up to trainings. You should still be learning, because that means when you find those two, you're going to be able to step up as a Builder Pro executive elite because you took all that time learning how to be those ranks, learning how to step up and be a better leader. Because at the end of the day, nobody wants to follow a follower. People want to follow a leader. What do you have to offer people? That's what you have to ask yourself. What does your team, what do you have? What they want to buy you. They're not buying Q Sciences, they're buying you. So from day one, you have to decide what strengths you have. What are you bringing to the table that make people say, I want to work with her. I don't want to work with that girl over there. I want to work with her because she has that. And it's not going to be everybody, but the right people are going to come to you because of the way that you show up. And so you have to show up. It's so important. Leadership means problem solving on your own. Guys, how many times have we been in a group chat where somebody asks, the same question gets asked 5 bajillion times in that chat over and over and over again? Be the person that goes and finds that answer yourself. Instead of always going to a chat and asking a question, go to the ARC app. Look in your resources, go to your back office. Don't go straight to your upline because you are a leader. Whether you have 0 or 5,000 ambassadors, you are a leader. And until you learn how to do these things yourself, you're not going to be able to be a leader if you're always depending on other people. It's so important that no matter what the question is, you try to find the answer first. And then when your person answers, if you can't figure it out and someone answers you, I want you to ask them, okay, how did you find that so that I can do it myself next time? We always need to be learning. We always need to be growing. We always need to be improving our skills and getting better. Leadership means knowing what's happening in your business. Again, whether you have 0 ambassadors or 5,000, it is so important that you know what's happening in your business. Who's close to hitting a rank? Who are people talking to? Like, I call my people every day and I'm like, hey, who are you talking to? Who can you get me in a call with? Who can we talk to today? What are we doing today? It's your business. Yes, it's their business, but it's your business. You have to always know what's going on in your business. It's not my job as your upline to call you and be like, hey, did you know that Sally is 1 order away from hitting CB Builder? You should be like, yes, I know. We're on the phone right now signing up another customer. That's important. And even if you don't have any ambassadors, you need to know what's going on in your business, It's not always the people below you. What's going on in your business? What's your plan? What's your monthly goal? What's your 6-month goal? These are all important questions that you should have answers to every single day. When you wake up in the morning, you should know where you want to be in 3 months. Whether it's a rank or just growth, doesn't matter. You need to have a plan to get there. You need to know what's going on in your business. Leadership means showing up when you don't want to. Guys, if you owned a gym, if you owned a baby shop, if you owned anything, you couldn't just wake up one day and be like, it's raining. I'm not going into work today. It's like this, I'm not going out on this. And then people show up to your office and they're like, wait a minute, it says she's open, but she's not here. It's the exact same thing in our business. Just because our business works online doesn't mean that it's not a business. When you discount your own business, what do you think other people do? If you're not showing up for your business, why should anyone else show up for your business? Why are they going to buy from you if you're not even talking about your products? They're like, okay, yesterday she was talking about like a CBD drink, but now she's talking about liquid IV. I'm so confused. Like, is that not the same thing? Or like, I know last week she was talking about Q Sciences, but I haven't seen her talk about it. She's probably not doing it anymore. You have to show up every day and you have to be excited. Like I said, the one thing that kept me going in that time where I was at my lowest was like, I know what's over that hump. This is an amazing company. Like the timing here is fantastic. Who cares that I'm not doing great right this second? I know that as soon as I get over this hump and I find the right people and I train my team and I work with them and we get better together and I focus on other people instead of just myself, that what's over that on that side of this hump is way better than where I am right now. I just have to get there. The second, like I said, I know I've already said it, but
I just got my another 200.
The second.
I just got so excited because my FFM just got deposited today and I was like, my
Canadian.
FFM came. That's so exciting. Okay. Sorry, everyone.
I don't even know where I was. I'm sorry. Sorry, Laura. Oh, man. Okay, this is a big one. Leadership means seeing your people where they are and meeting them where they are. It's so easy to be like, if I could just enroll one more of me, then I would be good to go. Like if I could just have 5 people that work like me, my business would be diamond. Like, where are those people? Why are you guys not doing what I'm doing? It's easy to do that. But guess what? When you do that, how does it make your team feel? They're not stupid. When you think that way, they feel that. I know that for a fact. That's how it was at my last company. I never felt like I was good enough for my upline. I never felt like I was doing enough. Instead of telling them what they should be doing more of, why don't you meet them where they are and do it with them, or see how you can help them, or encourage them in other ways, or just tell them you love them, because not everybody is going to be where you're at in their business. But as a leader, when you show up every day and you show them how easy it is to just show up. When I was doing this, we did something called Follow the Leader in one of my pods. And I'm going to tell you guys this. I don't know how many people are in your groups, but we did Follow the Leader. It was so effective. And every week I would pick a different person in my group. Some of them didn't have any ambassadors at all, but I would say, hey, you're up. You're going to tell us what we're doing today and tomorrow and the next day. You're going to pop in and you're going to give us something to do. And then you're going to hold everybody accountable and you're going to be the leader of this group today. And so I put people in positions of leadership where they were forced to step up and be an active member of the team and to grow. And that's how we really started growing in this area of my business that needed growth. And people stepped up and they got closer and relationships were formed and they realized that they were in here for way more than just money. They were learning, they were growing. And that's when magic happened, is when I put them in a position where they had to step up a little bit, but I still met them where they were. Everybody has everybody has things they're great at. It's your job as a leader to help them find out what they're good at and to use that. Hey, you are so good at talking. You're so good at talking about Q Core. Like, my gosh, your Q Core testimony is amazing. And you know about the product, like, so good. Can you talk about it on our call next week? Make them feel good. Get them involved instead of telling them what to do. You're not their boss. They own their own business. Support them. Don't put them down. Leadership means focusing on long-term goals and growth over rank goals. I cannot stress this enough. I know that hitting new ranks is so exciting, but I think that as a whole, as people, we get way too caught up in rank goals. And here's what happens when we focus only on ranks and not on growth. It can be discouraging because obviously if we're not hitting ranks every month and we see people hitting ranks, that's discouraging. But growth is just as amazing as hitting ranks if that's the culture that you create. If you only reward people for hitting ranks, that's not creating a culture where everybody's winning. When I was doing my run for silver, it was six months. I started January is when I wrote down exactly. I wasn't hitting ranks. My goals were completely number goals. That's it. I knew where my numbers had to be so that in 6 months I could hit silver. And so every single month I had it on my calendar. I knew where my legs needed to be. I knew what my exact numbers needed to be. It was all there. And so every month I wasn't hitting a rank, but I was winning and I was proud of myself because I was exactly, my numbers were where they needed to be and there was growth. If there is growth in your organization month over month, then you should be celebrating. It's not going to always be ranks. There will be years sometimes where you're not hitting a rank when you start hitting the big ranks. I mean, platinum to ruby is 100,000 to 200,000. That's not going to happen overnight, you know? But if you're in it for the long haul, then you celebrate the little wins. And if you encourage your team to celebrate the little wins from day one, and you start creating, like, encourage them to get into action, not necessarily the result. People need to be in action. Celebrate them being in action. Celebrate them coming to trainings. Celebrate them showing up in their stories. Celebrate them doing a reel. Those are the little actions, the habits, the everyday things that are going to create long-term change that are then going to create ranks, right? But if you're just encouraging ranks, but you're not encouraging habit changes, nothing's going to change because no one's actually going to know what to do. But it's our job as leaders to show up and remind people how important it is to have number goals, just to be growing. Small goals, even if it's just one ambassador a month or one new customer a month, doesn't have to be hit a new rank every month. We have to change the script here. We have to encourage our teams to be thankful for what they have and where they're at and see the big picture. So important. All right. And to close this out today, and I will open up for questions, I have a quote that gets me every time. Public recognition comes from private discipline. So important. And I want you to write that down. Public recognition comes from private discipline. The people who are being recognized on any platform, on any stage, anywhere, it's the things that they're doing every single day that everybody else in the world is just doing occasionally. What things are they doing that make them stand out every day? I've given you a few, but there's so many more. And I really want you to take the time to think about that, whether it's tonight or this week. Just think about what you can be doing every day, what little things you can be putting into your teams every day that could create momentous change over the next 6 months. It's not about hitting ranks tomorrow. It's about where you could be 6 months from now. And we've got to stop thinking about tomorrow, this month. I'm going to hit this month. I'm going to hit this next month. And then you're disappointed month over month. For 2 months, my team ran for silver. Like, I thought we were ready for 2 months in a row. So it was actually 3 months that we actually ran, and I didn't hit silver. And I remember I went to bed that night and I knew I wasn't going to hit silver. And I just said, you know what? We put it all out there and I'm proud. And I woke up the next day and I showed my team that it's okay to fail. 2 months in a row. It's okay. Who cares? Our numbers got better every month. We got closer and closer and closer. But let me tell you, when we finally hit silver as a team, it was the biggest party ever because we had worked so hard to get there. So just remember, it's okay to fail and it's okay to have long, big goals. It doesn't have to be monthly goals. Set those goals bigger. Think long-term and learn how to cast the long-term vision for your team. All right, I'm going to turn the